Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's get into the TA. Alright guys, so we are running it with a morning update here. Why are we doing this right after open at 9:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time? Because your boy has a shift at 1 to 9, so I'm going to get this out of the way so we can go on the walk with the dogs, go hit the gym, we can have a jolly good day. Alright, plus found a lot of stuff last night. I just want to go over some things. All right, so we did have a rather long video last night. I'm sorry, when I record the videos after work, they typically come out like a lot longer just because, you know, my brain is like blah at that point. But right now we're nice and fresh, so let's run through this quick. All right, so I got a few factors that I want to just point out here. First things first, you got a massive rising wedge going on here on the hourly time frame. You still have a triple bearish divergence over here on SPY. You still have a triple or quadruple bearish divergence over here on the hourly RSI over on QQQ. You still have your 4-hour triple bearish divergence over here on ES. You still have your triple 4-hour bearish divergence over here on NQ. All right, guys. On top of that, we've been riding up this trend line this whole time. This is where you got your last aggressive bounce from. We're currently coming straight into it. You had a 2% bounce off of this level. You are now coming straight into it, and it looks like you're finally going to break it. I do think that is probably going to act as a signal of weakness. All right, so do with that info with what you will. All right, but we have, you know, the same exact looking chart over here on ES. All right, I understand the trend line is in the exact same spot. All right. But if you just connect that point to, you know, these points to that point, guess what? We're coming into that trend line, all right? That is going to happen probably about 0.5% down. All right, so I'm not saying we have a red day today, but if you do have a red day, you are going to end up breaking these. Now, I am also going to point this out, all right? So I mentioned this in the comments yesterday. Come over here to SPY, all right? Now, I don't think, you know, I think this pullback is going to be bought up. That was kind of the purpose of yesterday's video. I wanted to explain how I'm just like, you know, guys, I'm still very bullish. I was bullish this whole time. All right, which is why it pisses me off so much to know that, like, I could have, you know, long done this bullish thesis this whole entire time. And, you know, it literally would have paid any possible dip we could have, you know, bought, and it would have paid. All right, but like, that's why I made the long video. I wanted to explain how I am definitely short-term bearish, but like, you know, mid to long term, I am bullish. I don't think anyone's really going to argue with these weekly charts at this point. All right, maybe you do put in a topping tail right here at the July top, and then people are going to be calling for a freaking double top. And I'm going to come on here and I'm going to tell you, hey, do you really think you're about to give back this whole entire move and then break your neckline all the way down here? All right, guys, that is almost a $50 move. 48 bucks, I think. $49, all right? So we'll round up, we'll say 50 bucks, all right? So I don't think anyone's really going to argue with the, you know, the bullishness of this chart right here. But guys, when you pull back, you're literally just going to come back, maybe fill some gaps, and you're going to go on your way. Well, you know, that's just my prediction. But let's just be real. Naturally speaking, if this chart were not to have just, you know, nonsense come into play here, that's what's going to happen. You're going to come down here, you're going to bounce off these gaps, and you're going to run back up, which also aligns with the trend line that you just had broken out, which was, you know, the upper trend line of this massive bull flag. SPY is literally just going to come back, guys. You put a Fibonacci retracement we did in yesterday's video, guys. You're going to come back and smack that gold pocket, all right, right down here, or you're going to smack this 50% retracement, which also happens to align with your daily 200 MA. I know we got a lot of lines on this chart right now, and it's because, guys, we've been going straight up. All right, we've been going straight up. We got a lot of levels here to be paying attention to. All right, I do have 2 trade ideas here for you today that we are going to be sharing at the end of the video. I am just going to actually put a reminder here. All right, 2 trade ideas. End of vid. Okay, we're going to keep that up there because I happen to like always forget when I am going to have a trade idea at the end of the video. All right, so there's that, guys. All right, there is that. But yeah, what I really want to come on here and point out is the last time, well, I don't want to, not this specifically, all right, but like, you know, along with what I just pointed out, we got this going on. This is like the most recent, you know, version of what we have right here. You had this move right here. Guess what? You pulled back like $6 and then you went back up. $7. All right, that's more than what we just had, by the way. We only had like a $4.70 pullback, if I'm remembering correctly. You had a $46 move up, more aggressive move up than what we have going on right now. Okay, right now. 11 trading sessions. And guess what? All right. You ended up giving back that whole entire move over the following month. All right. I am not saying that happens. I think I just, kind of in yesterday's video and at the beginning of this video, I think I just made my case why I don't think that's going to happen. I think we've had a really aggressive move. All right. You come over here to the fear and greed index. This is something I was referencing the whole time down here because we knew we were carving out a major bottom. Did it take quite some time to carve out the major bottom? Yeah. We got one big bounce here. You got one massive rally here. It wasn't a bounce. It was a massive rally. All right. Aggressive as, potatoes. And potatoes are really, really aggressive, guys. Really, really aggressive. Beans and potatoes. All right. I wonder if I gave my dog... Are potatoes bad for dogs? I know my Josie would just sit there trying to scratch at it. Micah might, pick it up in her mouth and go take it over to her bed. And she might start trying to gnaw at it. I don't know if they're bad for him. I'm not giving him potatoes, but it would be funny. All right. Regardless, guys... That is what happened last time we had this condition. Anytime you have these massive just short squeeze rallies, all right, you're going to get these pullbacks. We never got a pullback, okay? We just didn't. You go, over here, guys, this took 42 days, 27 trading sessions, and you still didn't run as far as we ran here, okay? This was in less than half of that time. That was 42 days, okay? This is 24 days. Guess what? That's half of that time, guys. All right, we've ran that distance. You come over here. Guys, we just ran this whole entire move all in one go without any of these little pullbacks right here. Without anything of the sort. Okay, you have ran this entire move. And keep in mind, this was your short squeeze. This is when everyone kept trying to short and the market just kept going straight up. QQQ had its run and then SPY was next up. And that is what we saw. Now, QQQ, it could go a little parabolic. It can. All right, which is why I'm going to be sticking with SPY. All right, but I'm just going to tell you right now, all right? I think this is, extremely unlikely to happen again. I understand, we're kind of seeing something like that play out, all right? But even over here, you still had decent-sized pullbacks. We're not getting anything, guys. All right, so, don't sit there getting really bullish right at the top. I've been bullish the whole time. I'm just, the higher we go, I just know the more likely this I told you in yesterday's video, the analogy I was using is the spring. You're just coiling, you're tightening the spring, and eventually it is going to snap. You don't get these divergences, all right, over here on the 1 hour time frame, all right, that take this long to carve out, all right, real-time arrows, and then you come over here to 4 hour time. These are the ones I really care about on NQ and ES. 4 hour, I've been using these since the beginning of the bear market, and they have done me very well with marking bottoms and tops. Yes, they could take some time to play out, but guys, even over here, this was 15 days this took to play out. This, we're at 17 days. So yeah, I think we're extremely extended right now. I think we're going to have that slingshot type of action to the downside. Honestly, maybe it does something like this. All right, maybe it does something like that. Or you come, lower high, and then you come and break that, all right? But, from where we are right now, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. That would be a $12 pullback over there on SPY. But then you got the same thing over here on NQ. You still are just... You see what I'm talking about? These things literally are what mark your tops. Okay? Top. Okay? How long did you take to fall? Well, but not even. Because this one, you literally recycled down. You had your decent pullback. We didn't get that. We literally didn't get that. So we can't even count this. All right, but there you go. You have 6 trading sessions there. To form these divergences, they typically don't take this long, all right? You got this going on right here from here to here, right? There's that. And these are we're including these aggressive rallies, all right, into these. And they can burn, all right? But we haven't gotten them burned. So yeah, I'm at least looking forward to something like that, if not what I had pointed out in the beginning of the video. Which is, SPY coming all the way back down to fill some of these gaps. Maybe the 430, 430.92 gap fill down here, 430.92. All right. So realistically speaking, guys, if we're just going to look here on the hourly time frame, all right, you want to know what to watch in the short term. Okay. Which I know what I'm watching in the short term. Actually playing weeklies, guys. I'm like, should I share with the Discord? I'm considering I've been playing a lot of weeklies. I'm not going to, because I've been, just sitting on my hands. I'm not going to alert anything because I know for a fact people are going to be losing money. Even if I, get out, break even, or if I take a minor loss, there's going to be people who just hold on to things. That's just how it is. All right. That's how it be. But, I mean, I'm not the best at all of this, but I'm definitely going to say right now, weeklies, you kind of can't just sit there, like a deer in headlights, like I did with my, spy. Again, I want to say swing put, but I hate the fact that I knew it was a swing long the whole entire time. I was the one very bullish at the bottom. All right. And, 2 weeks before the bottom, I was also bullish on that. And I still decided to try and short a pullback. No idea. All right. And someone said capitulated on the short trade. I did not capitulate on the short trade. All right. I just, they are, I'm not going to say worthless, but they're pretty much worthless. All right. And then guess what? All right. We opened up some fresh Apple puts. All right. Maybe we nailed, almost the top over there. So, it'll all work out. All right. But you guys, you also got to see Apple start breaking down. You want to start seeing this structure on the hourly time frame start turning bearish. I told you guys bears had the shot over here with this double top kind of action, and they literally didn't take the shot. All right. So like what you really are looking for is exactly what we pointed out in yesterday's video. Right now that you've done this move, the only way this really can go down, well, it can just take a straight shot down and you're going to take out this last low over here on the hourly time frame. But what I pointed out in yesterday's video, which I think is much more likely, is you come down here and you put in some sort of lower high and then you continue on your way. And once you do that, you break right here. You got the lower high established from this one over here. That is when there's your confirmation. That is when now on the daily time frame, I think you're good to start taking your swing short. All right, and I say swing because I do think this is going to be a decent pullback. All right, I do. Next thing I will point out is over here on Mr. VIX. All right, Mr. VIX, you could keep falling here. We could get another VIX crush. All right, but you get another day like that. All right. You're going to come down here to 1273, which is going to be the low of this candlestick right here. You have major support going on. All right. I'm just putting it out there. Upside, it looks to be extremely limited at this point. I'm just being clear on that. And we're going to see how the weekly, candlestick forms over here. Do we get a shooting star? I have absolutely no idea, but we come over here to Mr. NVIDIA. All right. Mr. NVIDIA, guys. Okay. Still just carving out these divergences. I have chosen to, not even care about NVIDIA's divergences because they never did you any good over here. All right. So I'm not even going to point that out, but I am going to point out we have ER after hours today. And that does mean we are very likely going to be getting a gap up or gap down tomorrow on SPY and QQQ. All right. QQQ will be moving off of NVIDIA and we come over here to SMH. Oh, wrong ticker right there. SMH. And SMH is also at an all-time high as noted in yesterday's video. All right. That also does come with this bearish divergence. All right. And these divergences, guys, they don't mean these things are going to play out right away. All right. They could do something like this, but, once it was in, it was in. Or, you have this going on over here. From here to here. Told you, hey, you probably shouldn't be shorting as this thing goes on to make that divergence from the new high. All right. Or not shorting. Long. But then again, this thing's kind of crazy, all right? We saw what happened with NVIDIA. But yeah, I'm just, putting two and two together here. Guys, this thing does look like it's probably going to end up getting a pullback here on the weekly time frame. On the daily time frame, you get the RSI about to start turning down off of 70, okay? It could mean we're getting, a decent bit of a downside here, right? If you are paying attention to SMH, maybe you trade that instead of SPY and QQQ like I do. And I'm sure a lot of others do, then here is what you're really paying attention to on the long side on this pullback. You're literally just going to be, and this isn't one of the trade ideas, by the way. One of the trade ideas already working. It was working well before. But like I said, I mean, I'm playing weeklies. I'm not going to alert weeklies. It's not going to work like that. Well, I want to. I'm not gonna, because I can only do this whole, day trading thing on certain days. Like today I have a 1 to 9 shift. Tomorrow I have a 1 to 9 shift. I would also on Thursday, but we're closed on Thursday. On these days, I don't have to go in at 8:30 a.m. Yeah, all right, let's run it. But, all right. Trade idea, okay? By the way, alongside you're watching for this exact scenario right here, okay? Something like that. We're coming down to golden pocket, which is going to align with this gap fill right here. All right. I just know that off the top of my head, but now let's see if I'm right about that. Yeah, you're aligning exactly with the golden pocket. All right. So there you go. That is what I'd be watching over there in SMH if you are a bull. Okay. But you don't sit there holding your longs into fresh all-time highs when you got looks like this. All right. I just don't think it's the best move there. I haven't also, done the best past few weeks, not by any means. So there's that. All right, let's come over here to the first trade idea, which is going to be Oxy. All right, and this one is also just based off of US oil. All right, but I think they have a very similar look here, and I think we are going to be seeing this thing start to move. All right, and if this thing starts to move, you're going to start seeing the oil names like Oxy, like Zom, like what's another one? We have what's the coconut name? It sounds like coconut, but Cocoa Philippines, something like that. It's not going to be that. Wait, I'm bugging. Okay, I know there's another big name in there. All right, they're all gonna be moving together. All right, but I've for years I've not. No, it hasn't been years. All right, it was ever since Warren Buffett made his first big buy way back when Oxy had his big gap up. That's when I started trading Oxy. It was right over here, not big gap up, but over here. All right. So this is my oil name of choice, and I think it's probably going to follow this chart pretty to the T. All right. So you just had a breakout over here. You could see Oxy looks extremely similar to US oil over there. There you go. Okay. You're literally getting the back test of your falling wedge right now. I understand you had a false breakout here, stalled out resistance. You came back over here. But now let's come down to the hourly time frame and see what that actually just put in. As long as you hold this low over here, you have to hold this low. All right, so I'm actually going to put put that down there. All right, that down there. Yeah, I actually took out an Oxy swing, guys. I did what I told you guys I would be done. We're going 60 to 90 days on all of these swing trades now. All right, that's really just what I want to be doing, unless it's going to be a short-term trade. All right, like weeklies or maybe 1 or 2 weeks out to try and avoid some theta. Yeah, I'm just going to be taking these, 60 to 90 days swing position. I think it's going to do me very well with the position I'm in. All right. But yeah, you have a inverse head and shoulders forming up here. All right. So you can either use this as your shoulder, this is your shoulder. All right. But I would really be looking at this guy right here. All right. And you want to be holding this low. If you don't hold the low, then you guys, it's invalidated. There's that. All right. What is our next? Our next trade idea is going to be Baba. All right. Now, Baba was popping off. It is now starting to cool down, but I am going to point out here, you look like you are basing here on the daily and the hourly time frame. You are right here at support. You have this, volume coming into it. You have a bullish divergence over here. Same thing, sloppy falling wedge pattern going on over there. All right. We probably could bring this up here, maybe form a channel. We're not going to do that. All right, we're going to keep our sloppy falling wedge pattern. Regardless, guys, I do like the setup. That I do. I'm not saying it's going to go, very smoothly, all right? If China stocks decide to just take an absolute dump on me, there's that, all right? But I think this is a pretty clean looking setup, okay? I do think it's pretty clean. And as far as I'm concerned, okay, China tickers aren't looking too bad, all right? But Baba in particular does have that bullish divergence going on. You're at support. You're at trendline support. You're at, let's look at the hourly time frame. You're at your breakout. Well, not your breakout, but, if you're going to use this as your double bottom here, you would have that. You would have that. Right here would be your neckline. You're above that neckline, all right? You gapped down. You held that. You ran right off of open. You can see that here on the 5-minute time frame. All right. But all in all, guys, I think I like this setup. And if you come back over here to the hourly time frame, I would like to remove that little guy right there. You can see we do have a head and shoulders formation. All right. I know it's pretty sloppy looking there. Regardless, guys, I think we got a base going on here. And if you do start piping up here, I think this thing can get moving over 79.80. And from there, your next resistance is going to be all the way up at almost 82, 81.70. And I'm just going to point out, you still have this gap left behind over here. Oh, there was a sloppy arrow right there. All right, so you got this gap left over right there. I would, be using that as your target. All right, that would be right up there at 85. Let's just see it. All right, 85, 89. Let's put that on a chart. 85, let's make that 85, 85, 89, 89. There we go, guys. It's all the way over there. Okay, I'm going to have to readjust it. Boom, boom, boom. All right, guys. So that is pretty much it. Let's actually see how the big boy Apple is going on. We can take a look at that in this video as well. All right. Let's actually take that one out. Let's clean up this chart a bit. All right. We do have some structure that we could be paying attention to, but Yeah. Yeah, we'll keep everything. All right. I'm still just going to point out what I have been pointing out, guys. You have this whole run off of decreasing volume. I don't think this ends well. I think you're definitely going to be coming down here at least to 182 to backtest this. If not, you're going to literally come back into this golden pocket, which I typically see happen more often than not. And that would be a move all the way down here to backtest this falling wedge you broke out. And then I would expect you're probably going to do something like that. Or you do something like that, and then boom. All right. That is pretty much it, guys. With that being said, I will catch y'all in the next one. We called this out on the back test. Peace.